I made over $17,500 day trading futures this week. And in this video, I'm going to break down every single trade that I took this week so that you can learn from it, implement it, and make your trading even better. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Eric. I trade on prop firms and I've been trading for close to 5 years now. And first, I'm going to show you guys the P&L on Top Step and refresh it. And then over on the Apex accounts, I trade 4 Apex accounts. We have the P&L for the week of February. Now let's get straight into the first trade, which is on Monday. So I usually trade ES, the S&P 500 futures. The strategy that I trade is the 15-minute orb called the open range breakout. Essentially, within that first 15 minutes of New York session market open at 9:30, you wait for that 15-minute high and 15-minute low to form, and you can essentially work around these two levels. And I do have other videos that go more in depth, but today we'll be focusing more on the trades. So coming into 9:30 open, we can see markets moving higher, and we tag this overnight high level formed during the Asian session. And with this move up, essentially I was looking for a pullback to continue with longs, and my ultimate target was the previous high of day. And the reasoning for that is because we swept previous day low, giving us a nice bullish reaction, and with that we can just follow the trend into the next key level. And we can see here in the next minute we get tapped into this pullback, and I usually go for a long, risking around 4 points to make 4.5 points. And right here we bag $600 TP hit within around 3 minutes. So that was the first trade I took on one account. And then the second trade, which I took on 3 accounts, we can see here at 10 a.m. there was 10 a.m. news. But on the 5-minute, we also have two 5-minute bullish fair value gaps, with this lower one being respected, and also kind of following around this 9 moving average. But after we pull back into it, get this nice reaction, we can see we start pushing higher. And with this 10 a.m. news candle, we just blow right through it. And with that, I entered on the new 1-minute candle. So it was, I think, 10:03. And then the obvious take profit would be at the daily high. So if I go back here, we can see our daily candle high is showing at this level. So we can put our take profit there, with our overall draw being that previous day high. And within those 2 or 3 minutes, we hit full TP for $2,000 across 3 accounts. And you can see after we take out previous daily high, kind of consolidate here above it, and eventually do break out of that consolidation and continue trending for the rest of the day until the PM session. But that's why having these key levels is so important. Makes everything really easy to target. And this is my completely custom indicator that saves me time from having to chart these every day. Now, just looking at the daily chart at gold, I want you guys to notice something. First, we're in this massive uptrend, but also look at the daily candles themselves. When they open, right, especially here, you're going to have an open and then maybe some sort of pullback and then a pump up. And at the close of the day at 4 or 5 p.m., it's going to close up here and form a very large full body. So what is this telling us? This is telling us if we can get an entry around Asia open, the 6 p.m. open, because this is futures, then if we're able to catch a massive candle like this, that's going to allow us to have a very tight stop, because we enter at the start of the session. So if you just look at all of these candles and see how many of them have those full bodies, then seeing that and knowing that most of these candles shown by gold are these very large candles, then we can take advantage of this and catch a huge move with little risk. Coming into Asia open, we can see here we're chopping around our previous day low, which is kind of covered, but you can see here. And now if we have like a 15-minute open range breakout level just like this, and just drop to the 1 minute and kind of see how we react off of that, we can see we just blow right through. So pretty bullish. And if we're looking for a move, what do we want to target? Well, if we're bullish and we took out previous day low from the previous day, then where's the next obvious target? If we're bullish, previous day high. So I'm only going to be looking for longs. Any sort of long entry I can get, I'm going to hop in. Just wait for a pullback I did get stopped on the first entry, I think for $1,000, and then the second entry I was able to tag in at around VWAP, and I was able to essentially ride this all the way up here for $11,000, getting us to $10,000 for a max payout on Top Step. And we can see later in the session, if we are patient and want to hold for the entire previous day high move, we can see eventually that trade is hit. After around 5 or 6 hours, that previous day high level was actually hit, and this is why those key levels are so important. If you know where market is going to go, and you are only looking for longs, and you see this move, why are you trying to short against the overall bigger trend? If you know where it's going to go, just go with the same direction, and that's how you can catch massive moves with a good risk to reward. Coming into Tuesday, we can see we swept out the previous daily high, and when that happens, we want to look for a rejection off of it and look for shorts, or tend to want to. And overnight, we can also see we formed a lot of these highs and eventually formed a high during London session and just rejected off all those highs, formed an SMT as well with NQ, and just was bearish before open. And coming into open, we had this push up into VWAP and just rejected, setting us up for shorts. And forming these two orb levels, we can see we get a pullback to the orb midline. Great trade opportunity right here to short into that orb low. So that was the first trade. The second trade you could take is that break of orb low with confirmation to the downside, and that could have given you at least like 10-20 points coming to 10 a.m. Now, unfortunately, I was not able to catch those two pretty much A+ moves, so I was kind of just waiting. And again, with that sweep of the previous day high, I was very bearish. So next potential target would be previous daily low. But if we're trading kind of on the smaller time frame, then our target would just be the current daily low. So I was just waiting patiently here, trying to get a good pullback, and we can see here we got a pullback. Looking in the 5-minute, we don't really want to make a new high, and we have a bearish 1-minute fair value that's very small here. So I just went ahead and entered in short, got stopped at break even for $0 on this one, and then had a pullback again, but then we had strong displacement, so then I re-entered short again, only targeting around 4 or 5 points. From there, I was able to hit take profit for, I believe, around $600 or $700. And then we can see later we pull back, and we can see if the previous daily low level actually plays out. So we can see coming into market close, unfortunately, we were not able to get the move all the way down to previous daily low, but nonetheless, if you know where the market wanted to reach for, and it does reach for this specific level, I think next day or 2 days, all right, it's provided us with over 100 points of shorting opportunity. So I mean, just looking at this, I mean, why would you want to long this? If you want to be able to get those really clean trades, just going with the trend and knowing where price wants to reach for is the way to go. Now to Wednesday, we can see a previous daily high and previous daily low are just floating out there. So we need to figure out which one we're going to go for. And we can see London high gets swept right before New York open. So that sets us to be bearish on the day. So we want our target to be previous daily low. But first, of course, that current daily low. So dropping onto the 1-minute, we can see we take out a orb high and instantly reject off of it. So that's already a good opportunity for shorts off this orb high. And then we dump straight to the daily low, and a break of that daily low would actually also give you confirmation as well and give you more opportunity for shorts, about 15 points. And then we can see what happens here if we continue to keep trending down. Then we can see after we took out the daily low, there might potentially be opportunities for longs if we don't keep dumping. We have this very strong push upwards, leaving us this gap. So really from here you could look for longs, and I think the obvious targets would first be the VWAP right here, so about 12 points. If we break through that, then you could probably go for orb midline, and then ultimately the RTH or orb high, so this high over here. We can see we get a nice move up for around 20-25 points. But again, I was kind of looking more so for shorts. That's kind of why I ignored that move upwards from 10 a.m. and kind of missed that first half of the session. And Trump did actually release some news here at 10:38, causing this candle, so that kind of gave us this nice move up. For me, considering it as a pullback, I waited for the news to calm down a little bit, and then again got a pullback on this green candle, and then I went ahead and went short on the next candle here. And now with our target being daily low and ultimately previous daily low, I caught around, I think, 10 points of the move, and we can see we reach for that previous daily low. Boom. And then later we take out that previous daily low. So again, if you're looking for shorts on this day, nice potential 70 points you could have caught. Coming into Thursday, there's just a classic A+. I mean, can't get really easier than this kind of day. We have our orb levels forming, and if we look on the left, I mean, just clear downtrend, and daily candle just bearish as well. And if we do break that orb high, then yeah, I want to look for longs for hopefully the daily high and then previous daily high. And if we reject off that orb level and view up, then just shorts to orb low. So we can just wait and see what happens. We tap view up and orb high. Kind of want to look for a change in market structure here before I'm 100% knowing it's shorts. You can kind of already know after we reject like this. But now, right, we get a candle close under, pretty much almost guaranteed to reach for that orb low level. We did have 10 a.m. news, so I did want to wait until after that to trade, because right, you can get this funky candle where it just goes up and down both directions. But we get a nice red candle off 10 a.m. news, and then on the next trade, our next candle, I entered in short on 3 accounts. I think that was for 1.5K across the 3. Again, just targeting that 4 or 5 points, just hit take profit within under a minute, probably like 30 seconds. And then I hop on the 4th account and enter short again. I did get stopped on this one. You can see it pulled back into this bearish fair value gap. So I think I lost, I believe it was around 400 on that one. And then after that, I entered again short on the next one in the candle, and was able to catch $800 or $800 into orb low. And then we can see after we break orb low, just gives us more shorting opportunities on this day, around like 15 points. Coming into Friday, we're just extremely bullish. We have a pump off 9:30 open. Just looking at Asia sessions, just trending upwards, and right off the orb high, we can see we break out, but then get a rejection down. And we can see we have confirmation. So then I wanted to look for shorts, and so at around 10:04 we get this pullback, and I hop in short there. I want our target to be the orb midline, or even the orb low, or like VWAP as well. Kind of more of a counter trend trade, which I normally don't do, but on this day I wanted it to play out because of the higher volatility. And then we can see we get stopped out immediately. And again, I'm still very bearish, and I want us to kind of have this as our pullback. So on the next minute, I re-entered short, and you know, if I lost this, I have that 2 loss a day rule, then I'll be done. And then we can see right after we short off the new 1 minute, we hit take profit for I think around $500 on 3 accounts. So the first trade was a loss for $400 on 3 accounts, and the second was a win across 3 accounts, leaving us with around $300. Looking into the rest of the day, we can see we tapped that orb midline like I did want, rejected off of it, and reached for daily high. And then we can look into later in the day and see if we reach for that previous daily high, which we eventually do coming into the lunch session. So you can see how these key levels are, very important and can guide your trade. The next steps from here is to take what you'll learn from this video, back test it, journal, and implement it into your own trading. I also leave a description of my free previous daily high and previous daily low indicator. And if you guys need additional help or want to see this applied live, learn one-on-one from me, then I'm going to leave a link to my mentorship and also in the description of this video. Or you can visit fengfutures.com/waitlist. And also, only my mentor students do get access to my full indicators. So if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.